Welcome to Douglas County Chamber's Greystone Power Business Owners Sharing Solutions Luncheon, sponsored by Wellstar Douglas Hospital. My name is Craig Owens with Wellstar Douglas Hospital and your 2020 Chamber Board Chair. I'd like to invite KRISTEN Douglas with West Georgia Technical College to come forward and lead us in our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. KRISTEN?
Please join me in offering a blessing today. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for all the many blessings you've provided us and our community here in Douglas County. Lord, thank you for your strength and resilience, that you provide us leaders that can support this vibrant community. Please continue to empower us all to be your servants in all that we do. Lord, please bless those who have prepared the food for us today. Please bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies, minds, and souls to your service. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. Please stand as we state the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, KRISTEN. This morning, we just want to recognize, first of all of our elected officials. Could you please stand and introduce yourselves? Elected officials? Any elected officials? None today. Okay. How about our chamber board members? Can our chamber board please stand and introduce themselves, please?
TONYA Jackson with Rayland. Don Harvey, Kimber R. Sheridan Braun. KRISTEN West Georgia Technical College. Shannon Trevor, the Resolution. Williams, County Gil Strauss, Water and Sewer Authority. Paul Zach, Michelle Williams, Zach Smith. Valerie Howell with Water.
Thank you, board members. And any diplomats? Do we have any diplomats here today? If you could stand. And, well, we have time. You want to go ahead and let's just introduce our diplomats. Let's start over here. Can you introduce yourself, please? Thank you, diplomats. We're also very proud of our 2020 Cornerstone members that joined us here today. I'm sure many of you noted them on the slides prior to the luncheon, but I do want to say thank you and recognize this group. They're here sitting in the front of the room. So all of our Chairman's Circle members, can you please stand just for a round of applause, Chairman's Circle? And I especially want to call out and recognize our visionary partners. Our visionary partners have taken a step up, another level in terms of their support of the Chamber, and I want to recognize them individually. I have Assured Comfort, Heating, Air, and Plumbing, the City of Douglasville, Google, Greystone Power, and Innovative Solutions. The Chamber would also like to introduce our newest 2020 Cornerstone member, TONYA Jackson with Rayland. TONYA, can you come up and say a few words?
Thank you, Craig. Good afternoon, everyone. As Craig said, my name is TONYA Jackson. I serve as the Business Development Manager for Rayland. For over 45 years or more, we've served as a full-service construction management firm. We serve a variety of commercial markets. However, the unique value in working with us is that the projects are more than a physical structure. We aren't simply building hospitals, we are building places that promote healing. We are building educational facilities that inspire creativity for the future scientists and provide inspiration for that future entrepreneur. We also, in areas of manufacturing and industrial, building places where goods and services can be distributed quickly and efficiently, like the next day Prime from Amazon. We're also in the areas of hospitality, where it's not just a hotel we're building, but we understand it's a place for you to go after a long day at the beach or at a long conference, a place where you can rest comfortably. Simply, I'd like to express my gratitude to some of our local partners here in Douglas County. We're grateful for the partnership with the Douglas County School System, the City of Douglasville, Douglas County Government, and Switch Data Center. Thank you so much for allowing us to partner with you, where we can build a structure, a long-lasting structure, and a community that we all love, that we all care about, and we know that we together will make Douglas County stronger and more successful for the future generation to come. Thank you so much.
So as a new Chairman's Circle member, I'm proud to present you with this award and recognition. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have to also say, you know, any of you that participate in the golf tournament, the Chamber Golf Tournament, Raylan has the best whole sponsorship. If you've played in the golf tournament, you know what I'm talking about. They do it right. So we had our gala just the other night. There were a couple of outgoing board members who couldn't join us, but they're here today, and we want to recognize them. Candy Yu with Avalon Accounting Services. We have a plaque for you, Candy. And Randy Whitaker with Banco ZK. Randy? I have just a few comments to share with you since Wellstar Douglas Hospital is sponsoring the lunch today. First of all, just a prelude to the folks that are going to be up here as representative businesses in our community. Just a stellar group of, I would say, young, up-and-coming leaders in our community. Tremendous businesses that are really the anchor for our business community in Douglas County. So proud to get to know them and see the tremendous work they're doing here. I would say that, you know, as far as Wellstar Douglas Hospital is concerned, we're very bullish on the future for Douglas County, and I hope you are too. We're building and growing our facilities and our infrastructure and our services to try to keep pace with the growth in our community. We're continually investing and improving our services. Got a couple of projects that are nearing the kickoff point. One is the relocation of all of our therapy services. So physical, occupational, speech therapy service will be moving up to a building that we're going to remodel up on the hill behind the hospital. And then in that space, we're going to relocate our infusion center. And our infusion center is for patients who come back. A lot of them come back on a regular basis to get IV infusions. So it might be for chemotherapy, it might be for antibiotics, it might be for blood products. And the area they're in right now just doesn't represent that world-class type of facility that we want to provide for all of our patients. So we're going to remodel the area that therapy is in right now and have a brand new place for them to come and get their care. And then the other service that we're very excited about, and I talked about this the other night at the gala, is our new pediatric emergency department. We'll have a dedicated area for kids. Shannon Hill is responsible for that area, Melissa Box, CNO, and the rest of my team here. I want to thank them for being here today, but they've done a lot of work in the planning for this new facility. We engaged our physicians, our nursing team, all of our team members that work in that area to really design a state-of-the-art, top-notch center for kids. And if you can imagine, if you have young children, and most of you had children or young children, bringing them to the emergency room can be a frightening experience. especially when there are a lot of adults there getting care, and sometimes when we're intervening in life-saving situations, it can be kind of scary and traumatic for kids. So this area will be dedicated for them. The only adults that will be allowed are the parents in that area, and it's going to be specialized care, special treatment area, just designed and dedicated for our kids in our community. So we're very excited about that. It's now my pleasure to introduce SARA Ray, President and CEO of our chamber, to moderate today's panel discussion and introduce our panelists.
Thank you, Craig. So I always hear these great stories about, and I know our staff does as well, about things that are happening in businesses in our community, and it's great, but I am one person to be able to share those stories, and we rely on our diplomats to share those. But we thought we would try something different this year and take a couple of our luncheons to focus on local business leaders that are doing amazing things in their office, because, you know, what do they say? Healthy wife, healthy life. But also, if your employees are happy and they're engaged, they're going to provide better quality work, and that helps develop our workforce here in the community. So at this time, I want to invite 3 panelists up to talk to us about how they create a thriving culture in their workplace. And just so you know, we're going to have each person talk for about 5 minutes on best practices of what they do at their company to create that fun workplace. And then I want you all to be thinking, because we're going to ask a couple of questions, but then each of your tables, we're going to take about 5 minutes, share at your tables some things that you guys do at your companies that are best practices, and then we're going to share out at the end. So I feel like it's almost a little group therapy-like, but we're going to try and see how it goes. So thank you all for coming up here. And just quickly, want to introduce our panelists. We have Mark Denice with Denice Companies, Melissa Stallings with Stallings Insurance Agency, and then we have Ms. Chandra and Pemberton with PO Solutions. So we're going to let the lone male go first and tell us all of the things that you guys do at Denice.
Awesome. Well, hopefully I won't put anybody to sleep up here. I might fall asleep myself in this chair you got for me. This is very comfortable. Thank you all for having us here today. Can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, great. Well, for those of you that don't know who we are, my name is Mark Denice. I'm with Denice Companies. We are a full-service architectural sign company located here in Douglas County. The company was started in my parents' basement basically when I was born. Worst time to start a company, starting a family, starting a company was crazy. But the good news is we've officially moved out of the basement. We have a 100,000 square foot plus facility off of Industrial Access Road. It's close to Greystone's location over here. And we are one of the largest sign companies in the Southeast with remote offices in Charlotte, Houston, Tampa, and Montgomery, Alabama. We have over 155 full-time employees. Let me tell you, with an open door policy, that's like having 155 brothers and sisters to feed in our family business. And you can imagine that grocery bill keeps growing. And we are currently hiring for 12 new job positions. So if you know Carla Pierce, our HR manager, please send her your well wishes and some chocolate or some thank yous for what she's doing. We are a growing company, as I know many of you are. We are a certified woman-owned business, and in 2008, we were voted by the Atlanta Magazine as one of the top places to work. Our current customer list includes the Coca-Cola Company, Mid-America Apartments, Cortland Partners, Truist Park, North American Properties, Walton Communities, just to name a few. We offer our clients a true turnkey experience where we design, we fabricate, and we install. In order to accommodate that service, we have a very diverse staff that ranges from the sales team to our designers, as well as fabricators and installation personnel. As a management team, we encourage an environment of creativity and have to balance that with client demands and project execution. So you can imagine that gets a little hairy and a little different personalities throughout the office. The way we measure our success currently is based off of the satisfaction of our clients and our employees. We are constantly monitoring that success. We do surveys and just simply ask, how are we doing? Our goal is to not only hear the employees in these surveys, but to take action. You all know this, I'll say it again. If you ask for feedback from your team or your clients and do not address their issues, you have failed, and it will only get worse. So you have to take action when you ask for that kind of feedback. For our clients, we don't make all the right decisions, and we get highlighted that we made a mistake on a project, and it is our goal to rectify any of those outstanding issues and make sure that the clients are taken care of. For the employees, we tie constructive feedback with our company's strategic goals for the year. You can't do everything, but just listening to them and letting them know that they are heard is super important. And remember, no is an answer too. Just explain the why so they understand the decision. As a company, why you do is as important, if not more important, than what you do. And at Denice, our goal is to not be the biggest sign company in the country, but it is to be the best. It was true what Kathy once said: if we all strive to be the best, our clients will demand that we get bigger. And our purpose at Denice is to create an exceptional product, client experience, and company culture. I'm honored to share with you about what I feel is great about the culture at Denice. Years ago, my parents wanted to do something for the employees. They started with company Christmas parties, barbecues, pool parties. They would champion the events. They would go buy the food for the events and cook for the events, but eventually got burned out. So they turned it over to the staff and thought to themselves, hey, let's see how they like putting all this stuff together and nobody attending the events. Well, something crazy happened. When the staff took it over, they created a social committee. It was the best attendance that we had ever had because it was by the employees, for the employees, and they were excited to come to these events. And it was a lot easier for a fellow employee to say, hey, where were you, than it is for a manager to come out and say, where were you at for these social events? So today, our social committee plans over 10 events for the year. Some of those include ice cream socials, food trucks, bowling, team building, fall festival, and a holiday Christmas party. They are all attended 80 plus and have received very positive comments on our survey. The next thing I want to talk about, and I mentioned this in our Chairman's Club, is the secret sauce at Denice. So they're telling me to stop. I'm going to go 2 more minutes, all right? 2 more minutes. This is the ultimate equalizer, so everybody's got their pen and paper ready to write this down. Buy a ping pong table, okay? A pool table, a foosball table, a cornhole board, so you got to have those. Whatever you would enjoy doing for 15 minutes, take a break. It puts everybody on the same level. It doesn't matter where you're at in the organization, but it's a way for you to interact with your team at a different level. And studies show that these games release endorphins in your brain and help clear your memory and your hit reset for the day. So it encourages camaraderie, and many times friendships develop outside of work because of these kind of practices. I also want to mention that our company does a wellness plan, and we work with our wellness provider to put this together. We have lots of cool seminars. As a matter of fact, they're doing a seminar right now about cooking with oils and healthy cooking that'll be attended with 10 plus members of our company, and they'll all be learning about cool and new ways to cook. Think about it: fewer sick days, improved productivity, less health insurance costs, the list goes on and on. The truth is, you know you're going to pay for it either way, so might as well have a happy, healthy workforce. And also want to mention social responsibility. We've created a Denice Cares organization that the employees run. They collect monies, and they decide where they distribute those monies. I've had it happen on more than one occasion where a potential hire would come to us that's making more money, and they know it, more money than what they would make in the job we're hiring for, but because of our social responsibility, our ability and desire to give back to the community, they want to join forces with us. They would much rather have that than some big honking private equity group that would come in and tell them exactly how they got to spend every dollar and how they got to operate on a daily basis. So in closing, our vision has morphed over the years, and I can tell you that currently we are a company that values our team members, cares about their success, and we want to encourage a happy, healthy workforce and truly want our employees to enjoy coming to work. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mark. You only went a little over, so we're good. I appreciate it. It was very valid information. All right, up next we have Miss Melissa Stallings to tell us about, and her company, she'll tell us about them, and it's a smaller perspective, so small but mighty, I would say.
Big things, small packages, right? Like, I'm 5 feet. Yes, Stallings Insurance Agency. I started the agency in 2008, and we're a small independent insurance agency. We just moved down the street off Church Street, so very excited. And truly passionate about Douglas County. I find if you move the mic, so we'll just stay in the spot right here. So I'm humbled to be here today, especially amongst my peers who success and size-wise are much larger than I am. So I'm very flattered to share a little nugget from Stallings Insurance Agency too. So started the agency in 2008, and then 4 years ago, just was kind of struggling to find, I felt like we were getting there as far as the team, but just not quite there yet. And I went to a conference actually in Vegas, and 2 of my peers were there, and I sat down with them, and I highly respected them. They have an agency in Boston, and they said, you really need to come up with your values. And I was like, well, what's a value? And they were like, well, it's truly things that you value. So if you ask my staff today, we've memorized our values, we study them, we rehearse them, we do lots of ice-breaking activities, but they're positive, polished, and committed. So there's lots of things that go around those, but positive is number one, and if you don't come in the office with a positive attitude, we do everything, including having dance parties to try and get you there, and if you still can't get there after a few tries, we have to let you go. So polished is the next one. Polished, and I did, actually, that's the only one I ever, end up letting go because we weren't quite there. It's super important. Being polished is very important too, coming to look the part, but also speaking well on the phone and being polished behind emails, so that's really important in the agency as well. And, ironing your clothes, putting on deodorant, those are all super important too, right? And then being committed. I want long-term employees that are going to be with me for a lifetime and really build a career at Stallings Insurance Agency. But the next big phase that helped me to create a thriving work environment was when the most innovative class ever went through Leadership Douglas 2018. Woo! Thanks, I see a few of us here. And we read a book called The Fish Philosophy. And the Fish Philosophy is Pike's Place Fish Market in Seattle, Washington. If you've ever been there, they have such a fun environment. And so I made my staff read the book. We went through it super slowly. And their philosophies are be there, make their day, play, and choose your attitude, which go right along with my values too. So they're kind of sub-values in our agency as well. And then finally in 2019, we established our brand, which is family, faith, and fun. So family is super important to us. So many of our staff spend more time in our office than they do with their own family. So when family calls, I say go, and that's why I started my agency, so that I could have my 4 children, oh my goodness, and really have a good work-life balance. Faith, Christ is at the center of our company, and we're proud of it. We're proud of him. He's the one that's blessed me with wonderful staff, and he's the one that blesses our business daily, so we're not scared to praise Jesus, and we pray at the end of every Monday morning meeting also. And then fun, it's last but not least. We try to have fun every single day, and we try to have fun with our clients too. So we have monthly team outings, and my staff helps me to come up with them. We've done things like the Braves, we've gone to the lake, lunch, nails, paintball, jewelry shopping, Topgolf. Oh, I'm all female in my agency. I don't know if I stated that. We just have more fun than men. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I just haven't had the right guy come along. That's what she said, right? On our bucket list are things like painting party, beach. We all come up with them. They help me plan them. I have 6 staff, so it works out really well for each of them to plan 2 outings a year. We also have a charity that we support monthly. Sometimes it's the same one. We have bi-monthly CE and trainings off-site. I don't claim to know it all. My staff, they teach me things daily, so I let them kind of train the trainer, right? Iron sharpens iron, so I'm not scared to learn from my people either. We celebrate successes, and there's also no secrets to this. So anybody that wants to bend my ear on, I can learn from you, and you can definitely learn from me. I definitely don't have all the answers, but Humbled to be here, and hopefully this is fun today. Is everybody having fun? All right, thanks so much.
Sure. Thanks. You totally forgot to mention when you attended the last conference. Will you please just in like 30 seconds tell them? Because I feel like that just shows how you motivate your team to do something pretty crazy, but
I know.
pretty awesome.
DJ Jazzy Jeff, can you cue up, please, for me, Who Runs the World, Girls? So yeah, the topic was an unconventional approach to hiring talent. So what better way to start that speaking engagement than an unconventional approach to starting a speaking engagement? And we danced to Beyonce's Who Runs the World, Girls, right? Anyways, so we did a 45-second dance at an insurance conference with really boring insurance people. They were like, what just happened? And everybody was sober at that too, so it was...
Thank you. I just think that's a great way to show, I mean, even if it's team building and, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall watching y'all learn your dance moves, so.
You can go to my Facebook page and watch it if you want to. It's still there.
Great.
It's super fun.
Great, thank you. And last but definitely not least, we have Ms. Chandran to share tips from her company as well.
Yes, I'm on here. Can you guys hear me? Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Again, my name is Chandran Pemberton, and I am the owner of PO Solutions. We're actually here in Douglasville, right across the street, going into our 16th year of business. PO Solutions, we are an asset/property management firm. We work to support different local government offices, federal agencies, private corporations, and entities. Considering that we are, in fact, a real estate brokerage firm, I am the qualifying broker for the firm. We started our basis in HOA and condo association management. Currently, we still remain there. That's probably about 60% of what we actually do. Well over 10,000 units throughout the metro area that we manage. So I think it's safe to stay out of the room. I am definitely in the most hostile industry possible. So in terms of just the office culture, that is a very, very important aspect, because you got to think about it. One thing that we pride ourselves off of, and if you live in a deed restricted community, is, hey, if you're calling, you may get that robocall deal going on. For the last 16 years, we've always remained to be a live office, and that's actually one thing that's really unique and a differentiator for us, because not only are we listening to those calls daily and, hey, my dog pooped on my neighbor's yard and all that kind of good deal, or can you stop the airplanes from flying over my house, it could be very, very stressful. And so how do you begin to manage that when it gets to that whole entire burnout and culture place? So we have to be non-traditional in the sense. You've got, you guys here, kind of the holy grail, the macro, and here, we're kind of in that moderate size space. So we're under, 15 employees. So we have the ability to really be creative and very hands-on about the approach in terms of just our culture. We have a diverse group, from 20 years old to 52, actually is the older there. So it was a challenge initially in terms of how do you begin trying to blend those impressions and just, what's that common denominator. So for me, it was going back and thinking to say, hey, how do I begin kind of bridging this gap? So just about 3 years ago, I decided to, just like you do with your business plans, your growth plans, we adopted a culture plan. By way of that, I brought in an independent, firm to come in and spend about a week in our office asking those hard questions. Independent of me, as the owner, as the direct leader, coming in and asking those questions. Everything from, what's your opinion, for how much you get paid? What do you think about how our processes flow? How do you feel about your colleagues? I mean, honestly, how is information communicated? Everything that you can think of. But one of the overarching things that came out of that entire process for me, sitting at the head of that table, was that it helped me further identify what motivates my staff. And one thing that fleshed out very, very quickly to the top was that some are motivated by money, some are motivated by praise, others are motivated by, hey, being a little bit closer to you as a leadership person, maybe getting a little bit of information ahead of time. Those things varied. But having access in terms of knowing what motivates your team, it further helps me be a better leader, and I can refine those conversations better, because there is truly an art to work with your staff, to encourage them and inspire them to buy into your vision to get the best product in terms of workflow out of them. So with having gone through that entire process, and again, this was a week-long endeavor, guys. I mean, they went from, completely anonymous, completely absent of me. The feedback that came out of that, don't be afraid to put it into action. You have to. So for us, it's don't rule by the iron fist. Be prepared to ask the right questions, and then put that feedback into action. When you can tangibly, when your team feels that they can tangibly see or feel that they have a place for, hey, this is kind of their sounding board platform, and you can physically see the work happening based on that feedback, your efficiency goes through the roof. I mean, it's instrumental in doing that. Some of the things that came out of that, not only from, even as trivial as, hey, we want to compete against other management firms, and we go and do annual whirly ball challenges, and they take that so very, very seriously. Everyone gets a one-on-one outside of just their performance review times with me outside of the office to go and just talk about things completely non-related, all right? Because in this role, yes, you do, want to know them professionally, but also personally. So it's that fine line I find you have to juggle between almost like, being that owner, that leader, being that counselor, knowing just enough because it shows up there in the work, and when do you kind of need to, come from a personal perspective to make that, this is, let's take it away. Because we work really hard, but we do play harder. Because we are unique in our size, they get to choose each year if they want bonuses or if they want trips on different benchmarks. 10-year anniversary of the company, we took them all on a cruise. So we can be a little bit creative just because of our size. That may not be for everyone, but the overarching goal, I would say, in this aspect, again, is not ruling by the iron fist. You don't get very far being rigid with regard to your processes and procedures, especially now with just the emerging trends with the different generational, disparities and barriers. If you're going to ask the question, be prepared to get the answer. So you got to know the right questions to ask and look at yourself in the mirror as that company, as that owner, that leader. What are you willing to do differently? When you get the answers, what are you willing to do with the information? Bottom line. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. You guys both said that. You both said don't just take the information, but you've got to turn around and do something with it. And I know even at the chamber, that's something, we survey all the time. And so, but trying to be more mindful of sharing that information back with everybody is very important. Okay, so let's ask a couple of questions. I feel like everybody's done a great job of explaining what works and best practices. So maybe why don't a couple of you give us examples of something, a challenge that you've had or something that you would recommend people not do when it comes to creating a thriving culture.
I have one that comes to mind quickly is hiring quickly and firing slowly, right? It's like age-old adage. Right here, you can. Here you can. So, right, the reverse. My most recent new hire, who is waiting in the wings, she starts February 20th, and it's been a year. I started interviewing her this time last year. So, slow to hire, quick to fire. The end.
I would say, you say don't do some things that again, I cannot stress enough in terms of ruling by the iron fist. That always gets you kind of in a jam there. If in fact, from a leadership perspective, if you can't think outside of the box or be willing to just look face to face and just hear what it is and not, take it from a personal perspective, you'll fail. You're only going to get but so far. So in terms of just not being rigid, I think it's important for us as leaders to equally assess ourselves and determine, if you have not, what type of leader that you are, and continue to work on that. And don't be afraid to communicate that I'm not perfect. I may get it wrong, but what I promise you I will do, is I don't expect you to be with me here forever, because, you know, they won't. In most cases, you may be doing good to get 2 or 3 years, but nevertheless, my goal is to have you at least as good as me, if not better than me. I say this all the time to my team. And if you're leaving, my commitment is to make sure that you go out better than you did coming in.
And the only thing I'll add to this, these are great points, is about getting buy-in. As a larger organization, we got a lot of departments, and they're all having to pull in a similar direction. So a lot of times we'll have management where we come in and give a directive without getting people's buy-in to the idea to champion it. And so we make sure that as we roll out initiatives, we discuss it with our team. And even if we disagree, we can discuss why we disagree, but ultimately carry that ball down the field and champion this idea as we roll out strategy. So that's one of the things that, you know, we've learned over the years. We can't just make a directive and throw it out there and expect that it's going to stick.
Well, you just kind of led into my next question. So how do you feel that what benefits have you seen, direct, like specific benefits to changing up, you know, shaking up your work culture? And I don't know if any of you have the secret sauce to the answer to this, but do you have any metrics of how you measure that?
So for us, when we did do that assessment plan, we had specific metrics. A part of that process was a meeting with, you know, me individually as that leader, and looking at just our growth plan and some areas that, you know, I felt that we needed some work in, and that was framed in a context to be able to quantify. So those were part of the results that we use in terms of creating that culture plan. From a very specific standpoint in terms of benefits, for us it was, what is it, 8 hours a workday, all right? You're doing good if you're getting 6, is it? You know, between internet surfing and kind of all that good deal. Right now, between, I mean, yeah, probably 5, and it's like, hey, well, you may need to revisit some things there, but in terms of just our core productivity, we're now right at about 6.5, about 7 hours. You know, we can track, you know, because I follow, you know, computers and what's happening there. So we're a little bit closer to that 7-hour mark in terms of the actual workflow and execution, which I think is pretty good in the scheme of things. But also, you know, as much as you say, hey, even in your job description, you know, any other duties as assigned, but being that real team player, it has made it much easier with the culture and being a little bit more flexible with the cross-training. Because, you know, again, we're under 15 employees, and it's like, yeah, well, you do, but just that buy-in and that willingness for that other one to help to kind of come in there, I've seen that transition a lot easier. So it truly has become where anyone at this particular point can step into almost any role in our office and be as fluent, and they're excited about that, with less conflict. So I don't have any drama. You know, everyone's kind of gets along and like each other, like for real. So that's a big deal.
So we're talking about benefits of implementing? Yeah. So, you know, the charity being one of the things that, you know, is benefits of implementing these kind of things, having them go out and champion your company as they support different causes. We've become very supportive of a work-life balance, you know, as we all have talked about up here, and just had to adapt how we have historically done things to make sure we accommodate this next gen and how we would like to be treated. That's the way we kind of put our lens on. When my dad started this business, he looked at how he grew up and working for his family business. He wasn't even allowed to borrow a tool to go home and work on a company truck that he was driving, because, you know, it's company's property. You can't take it off company, you know, property. So he was just really frustrated. So we lend our employees the tools and equipment. They got to sign it out, make sure they don't damage it. But we do a lot of things that, you know, it's not orthodox. We try to think outside of the box and think about it from a perspective of, if I worked here, what would I benefit? What would I like to see have happen? And so that's how we look at things.
I think when Sarah sent this question, I really thought I probably should ask for more feedback, right, Leanne, from my staff. But, you know, I think their attitude really displays the level of happiness and the culture does too. So, but I do think that encourages me to ask for more feedback. I do meet with my staff. It used to be monthly, and it was just too much on me. And so we meet twice a year, and we go over goals and those sorts of things. And a lot of times you find out, that's my question, what are you motivated by, like you were saying. So I think that's a great question for staff.
Great. Okay. Don't go anywhere quite yet. What I want everybody to do is, we've heard from 3 businesses and all of the great things they're doing, but I also know that there are other businesses that are out here, and I would certainly hope that each person has some element of fun in their workplace, whether it's, you know, doing birthday cakes for staff birthdays. I know you guys aren't allowed to use this one, but Greystone does dress for your day, so that they dress for whatever meetings they have, and if they don't have them, then they can wear jeans to the office. So I want you guys to take about 5 minutes at your table. There's a note card and a marker on your desk, and just kind of share for a few minutes about best practices that you have in your office. And like I said, it could be something very small, or it could be you can join Chandran on her cruise. So just take a couple minutes and then kind of come together with a couple of ideas or one best idea, and then we're going to collect those and read them out real quick.
So they were excited about it.
Hey, that was good. That's so awesome. You think that was I think we're neighbors too.
Everybody, we're going to go ahead and grab the cards so that we can share out. And while we're collecting those, I just want to say a quick thank you to our panelists from today. They did a great job and really appreciate that. We're probably going to not have time for questions, so they've agreed to sit back and kind of hang back for a few minutes afterwards. Okay, I knew this was going to happen. We're bringing everybody back together. All right, do we have all the cards? They're coming. Thank you. Oh, wow. Greystone, overachievers. They've got like 6 things on their list. Again, just want to say a quick thank you to our panelists, Chandra, Mark, and Melissa. Do you have them? Oh. So I just thought about this. The fun part is that I have no idea what y'all have written on this, so one, I hope it's PG. And 2, I hope I can read. Okay, let's see what, oh, thank you. Let's see what everybody has to say. So Wellstar, without even knowing, has provided you with some lovely notebooks to be able to take notes. Thank you, Mark. So if you want to take notes, and then if you guys want, we can email this out afterwards too. So, all right, you guys ready? This is probably going to be like 30 ideas in about 2 minutes. Okay, so we have Tasty Tuesday, which it says ice cream and food trucks. Oh, dunk tanks as a fundraiser. I would even add to that if you put your executives in the dunk tank. That could be really fun. Birthday lunch, well-being 365, fitness room, know your numbers, work-life balance, financial, health and well-being. Code Lavender, that's a great, I'm going to say that, that's a Wellstar thing. I sit on their board, and they have a Code Lavender, so if one of their staff or employees is having a bad day and doesn't want to kind of react in front of the patients, they call a Code Lavender, and there's a special place that they know to meet, and so that their coworkers can kind of support them through that. So there you go. And that was all from Wellstar. The Golden Rule, treat your staff and clients as you would love to be treated. Okay, this one says 90-80 or 980. Employees get every other Friday off, so it's a flex schedule. So 9 days a week, and they work 80 hours. I think that's a WSA one. Did you write in pink, Gil? It's really cute. Okay, let's see. Everyone is celebrated and recognized for birthdays, anniversaries. At each holiday, we celebrate as an office with special lunch or breakfast. Monthly meeting, a minute to win it. Oh, those are fun games. Recognize monthly work anniversaries and reward safety scores. All right, this person was overachiever. There's like 8 of them. Employee outings, celebrate birthdays, ask what motivates them, time off, feedback, sharing activities, treats. Oh, treats are always fun. And leadership training. Is this you? Is this your notes? Okay. Prayer, staff breakfasts and lunches, inspirational and encouraging moments of sharing, staff birthday celebrations and showing appreciations, birthday cake, birthday breakfast, Waffle Wednesday. Who is that? I want to come to that. Yes. MLK Day, baseball game, or B game. I don't know if that's baseball or basketball. Oh, it would be basketball. If you're at goal, you get to leave early on a Friday. Gym. I don't know what gym is. Anybody? We'll talk about that one. Foosball table, games, random acts of fun, movie day or Halloween, birthday celebration, after busy season, go away, or I guess get away. Kayaking, cater a lunch, half a day at a spa, hot seat, questions from all staff. It's like a 15-minute interview. Surveys, guess who said, like fun surveys that say guess who said what. Communicate, ask what they think. Let's see, monthly superstar peer management. They get a $500 reward. Who's that? I need to come there. Yeah. Is that Benton House? Is that Hannah? Yeah. Synovus, let's see, surveys, B-Day, pay day off, parental leave, I think is what that says. Let's see, corporate annual trip, birthday cakes, company-sponsored luncheons on Saturdays during tax season, work-life balance. Jeans for Jack. I don't know who Jack is, but any day to wear jeans is awesome. Jack Sparrow Halloween dress up. Snacks, Christmas party for needy families. Let's see, a vast wellness program, Weight Watchers, cooking classes, free gym, employee appreciation day, field day, jeans on Fridays or casual Fridays, and sick leave buyback. So that sounds awesome. So we will compile a list of these because that was a lot and send those out to you. But I hope you guys all enjoyed that. And we will have another one of these. Our next one's going to be in June, and we're doing attracting top talent. So if your company does something, exceptional to attract top talent, just contact our staff and we'll put an RFP out so that we can make sure and get you up on our stage. So thanks.
All right, just a few closing comments. Thank you to our panelists for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. As a thank you for speaking, a contribution will be made in your names to the Chamber Board Scholarship, which funds a scholarship for graduating high school seniors. Now it's time for our door prizes. Got 3 gift certificates. Red Lobster gift certificate for $25. Okay. Last 4 digits, 7207. 7207. 7207. Going once. Check your ticket, Ken. There you go. Yeah. Okay. $25 gift card to Carrabba's. 7226. 226. And $25 gift card to Texas Roadhouse, 7145. 7145. There you go. While I was away from the table, my team came up with one more plan. Does anybody know what a one-way cruise is for the hospital administrator? I'm trying to figure that out. One-way cruise. So just a couple announcements. As you saw when you signed in this afternoon, we are continuing our silent auction through 5 p.m. today, so you still have a chance. You can bid at the registration table out front after luncheon or come to the chamber before 5 p.m. to bid. Don't miss out on these great items. And the chamber is excited to announce Celebrate You, a women's event sponsored by Wellstar Douglas Hospital on Friday, March 20th. At the Douglasville Conference Center. Attendees will hear from former Channel 2 news anchor Monica Kaufman-Pearson and enjoy a business showcase prior to the program. New this year are breakout sessions with motivational speakers. Sponsorships and tickets are now available. See Carly for more information. And the Chamber is now accepting Leadership Douglas, Youth Leadership Douglas, and Chamber Foundation Scholarship applications. Applications are available on the Chamber website and are due March 13th. Thanks again to our panelists for joining us today and to Greystone Power for their naming sponsorship. Have a great rest of your day.